That's kind of you. Thank you.
If I may, I thought you... Well, I'm not sure how to put this into words. I'm actually quite embarrassed to say it. But I was thinking about what I do when I'm healing. You know, what usually goes through my mind. It helps when I think about...
What? Think about what, Mipha? You know, I'm asking that question rhetorically because, come on, we all know what Mipha was about to say, and if you're not sure, here's a little insight. Mipha, the Zora princess turned champion who's currently sleeping with the fishes,
The dead ones.
had her heart completely stolen by the sharp blue eyes of our one and only hero, Link. If you're not convinced that's the truth for some reason, there are hints dropped in basically every single memory or cutscene we see her in that allude pretty strongly to her feelings towards Link. And her brother, the dashing Prince Sidon, confirms it so that the old grouchy Zora guy would calm down with his Hylian hatred. But anyway, back to the cutscene I just showed you. It's pretty clear that Mipha was about to reveal that the secret to unlocking or using her, quite frankly, overpowered healing abilities lies in her devoted feelings for Link, which is just so sweet. But do you recall how Zelda's powers are unlocked? Let's listen to what Cass the Songbird has to say about it. The princess's love for her fallen knight awakens her power, and within the castle, the calamity is forced to cower. Did that first part sound a little familiar? Let's see. Mipha's power activates when she thinks about her feelings for Link, and Zelda's powers activated when she realized how much she loved Link, her fallen knight. The two princesses have more in common than just both being princesses. They both love Link. But while Mipha was able to realize this and be honest with herself in order to control her powers, Zelda tragically unlocked them too late, after all the other champions had died, after her father had died, after Hyrule was in flames and countless other citizens had died, and after Link had died. Maybe. And yes, while we do know that in the end it all works out, you know, give or take 100-year time lapse, I can't help but think about the last memory of all of the champions alive together. Since Zelda hadn't discovered her powers yet, and Mipha was about to tell her the secret to unlocking them, what if she did? If they had 10 more seconds before Ganon woke up, would the events of 100 years ago have changed? If Mipha finished her sentence, would she be alive today? Let's talk about it. So real quick before we begin, make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already for all the awesome Nintendo stuff that happens right here on Masked Nintendo Bandit, and drop a like when you're done watching if you enjoyed. Anyway, the first thing we need to ask is, would Zelda's awakened power 100 years ago be enough to defeat Calamity Ganon? The first instinct would probably be to say, yeah, it would. But we need to double check if all the pieces are in place for Ganon's demise, because as we've seen over the course of 100 years, Zelda can't do it alone. So what does it take? As far as we can tell, Calamity Ganon has been beaten twice. Once in the 10,000-year-old legend, when it took the combined forces of Hyrule, the Sheikah technologies, divine beasts and their champions, the princess, and the hero wielding the blade of evil's bane. And the second time, when all it really took was the princess and the hero. I mean, don't get me wrong, having the divine beasts around to laser beam Ganon down to half health before Link even begins sparring with him is very useful, but ultimately not necessary to defeat Ganon. Link can do it either way. The real victory comes from Zelda's power being literally shot into Ganon from arrows of light wielded by the hero. Clearly, the common denominator and only real requirements to defeating Calamity Ganon is the presence and power of both princess and chosen hero. And if Zelda were to have received Mipha's advice and awoken the power within her, the only remaining question is, would our Link of 100 years ago be up to the challenge of fighting alongside her and best Calamity Ganon in physical combat? Admittedly, it's a little hard to tell just how physically adept Link was before his slumber. We constantly see memories and stories of his combat prowess, and we also know that he actually found and drew the Master Sword all by himself, meaning pre-slumber Link was definitely no weakling by any stretch of the imagination. However, we also see him fall in combat before before even reaching Calamity Ganon because he had battled too many Guardian Stalkers, a feat that current Link really doesn't have that much of an issue with, especially once he's retrieved the Master Sword. And by the way, if you'd like my theory on what may have happened to make Link fall in combat here, and trust me, it's not what you're thinking, feel free to click the link in the description below or the button on the top right of the screen to check out my other theory on the matter. But anyway, I think it's pretty safe to say that modern day post-slumber Link is at the peak of his power, especially when he's adventured for a while and has raised his stamina, health, armor, and weaponry. It's also possible that maybe other weapons besides the Master Sword were just not a part of his weaponry arsenal 100 years ago as an enlisted knight of Hyrule, meaning his overall combined power level may just not have been as high as current Link's is. But fortunately for him, Zelda at full power, can do stuff like this. So I'm thinking that yeah, if Link had the Master Sword and Zelda had her powers 100 years ago, Calamity Ganon would have been defeated right there and then, possibly preventing the sacking of Hyrule Castle and even the death of Zelda's father. But for as happy of an ending as that sounds, I unfortunately have to point out one last tragic detail. You see, if Mipha told Zelda how to accurately unlock her powers, and Zelda and Link make a mad dash to Hyrule Castle to confront Ganon, that doesn't change the fact that the champions were also hurrying to their own divine beasts, where we know the Ganons were already waiting in ambush. Each champion, that includes Mipha, was completely alone and killed by the Ganons that were haunting their divine beasts, far away from any help, far away from Zelda and Link. This means that Mipha's death was probably inevitable due to the deadly trap set by Calamity Ganon, unless Zelda immediately knew to warp Link and herself to Ganon's location and they were able to defeat him before the champions reached the divine beasts, but that's not very likely. Either way, if Mipha and the other champions could have been saved or were destined to die, little did she know that those few precious final words she was about to say to Princess Zelda would have saved the world and countless lives from a monstrous calamity if she only had 10 more seconds. And that is my what-if theory on Mipha and the salvation of Hyrule. What did you guys think? Could Zelda have gone Super Saiyan and defeated Ganon alongside the hero 100 years ago? Or was it a loss either way? Let me know in the comments below. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this shorter theory video. As always, huge thanks to my supporters and welcome to my new ones. Say hello to Joanna Shannon, Shizubro, and Kaya. You guys inspire me more than you'll ever know and I can't thank you enough. Enjoy your benefits, guys. If you're interested in joining the channel, getting some epic rewards and custom emoji and badges, click that join button or follow the link in the description below. Also down there are links to my social media pages, so drop on by and say hi. That's all I've got for this one, so do me a favor and have a great rest of your day. This is MaskedNintendobandit signing out. Peace!